Hello, listeners. My name is Cliff Ratza. I'm the author of two ongoing series of novels, the Lightning Brain series and its sequel, the Keepers series. And in addition to being an author and a writing coach, I teach at universities and have a consulting business. If you would like to learn more about me, my books, or my writing coach activities, please contact Prime Solutions via lightningbrainseries.com website. I try to make videos that I think authors and writers and most people might enjoy listening to. And I try to cover material in a manner that you might not see on the news or in YouTube or other videos. I figure that if I can't find a different point of view, there's no reason for me to add something you can find elsewhere. So the title of this video is, What Answer to Give When in Doubt? Perhaps is a good choice. In other words, perhaps is an answer that might always fit. And two stories that I heard on the news a couple of days ago motivated my thinking that led to this video. Here they are. The first showed Ukrainian soldiers celebrating the Eastern Orthodox Easter service. Church elders blessed them with holy water and said that having faith and believing in the resurrection will give the troops courage and conviction in the fight for freedom. And the second showed photographs compiled by a team of astronomers scattered around the globe. They were taking pictures of the black hole at the center of our galaxy. They told us to believe in the power of science and reason for revealing the true nature of the universe. Some of my previous podcasts try to connect faith and reason and philosophy by using modern scientific principles. And when I synthesize the explosion principle, Kurt Gödel's completeness and incompleteness theorems, Ludwig Wittgenstein's explanation of the limits of language, and Quine's limits of knowledge, all using Robert Sapolsky's evolutionary neuroscience, I come up with encouraging asymptotic limits to what man will ever be able to understand. We will always be able to make progress. And after considering all this, I thought you might like a quick review on how our brain gets through every moment of each day. Now, how does it do that? By putting us in a mental state that gives us the best chance of survival. Daniel Kahneman's book, Thinking Fast and Slow, is often quoted when considering mental states. We often like or need to think fast and intuitively, trusting our faith or instincts to make the right choice. But sometimes you need to think slow and logically and deliberatively to come up with the answer. Philosophers often tell us that we should think logically and deliberately before making a decision. But if we take that advice to its limit, we reach unanswerable questions. Here's one that is often mentioned. Do we have free will? Scientific materialism of the Enlightenment says no. Our brains consist entirely of matter and energy, which are one and the same, according to Einstein and his theories of relativity, governed by immutable laws. In other words, the brain and body combination is like a finite state machine whose actions are always known. If this is true, free will doesn't exist, which means that the branch of philosophy known as axiology, and that's the study of value and ethics and morals, is irrelevant because there are no choices to compare. This doesn't seem like a very cheery outcome, and we can use quantum mechanics' uncertainty principle to extricate us. Here's how. According to the uncertainty principle, we can never know with complete certainty all the details of brain states, and that means we can never predict with complete accuracy what we'll do. And it's up to each person to decide if they put more emphasis on faith and revelation or science and reason. If you study philosophy, you'll sometimes get a philosopher's unintelligibly convoluted pronouncements about what to believe. I usually prefer my simple scholar answer, which I've summarized above. And please consider this. We are often told just to say no when forced to make a snap decision, because answering no protects us from acting too fast. But risk takers often will say yes so they don't miss out on opportunities. Please read Daniel Kahneman's book, Thinking Fast and Slow, for his recommendations regarding this dilemma. And I'll end this podcast with an illustration of how mental states work. Please remember that modern neuroscience says that there is no mind-brain duality. They are points of view for the same physical structure. The brain describes physiology and emotions. The mind describes cognition and feelings. Well, 30 years ago, I attended a piano recital. The pianist could play all the pieces from memory. She used no sheet music. And she was performing flawlessly until she suddenly lost her place. Her mental state had shifted. She didn't know what keys to strike next. So she stopped and told the audience she needed a minute to figure out what to play. And what did she do? She started striking keys at random until her mental state shifted to one where her memory kicked in. And as soon as it did, she played flawlessly to the end of the piece. I'm sure that many of you can relate to this example, especially if you have to give a memorized speech or play a musical instrument. Sometimes thinking fast, that is, no need of a written speech or music, works, but other times you better have them. So would you say yes or no? Maybe it's better to be safe and simply say perhaps. And that's a pretty good answer. But regarding the end of this podcast, I will say yes, the end has come. And I thank you for listening. Bye-bye until next time. So I'm going to click the End Live Video button, and Prime Solutions and YouTube will take it from here. Thanks again for listening. Bye-bye till next time.